Mother. Officer Sean, come up and state the register.
Officer Sean, Banya Howard, Banya Shala.
Officer Sean, Banya Howard, Banya Sha'ala.
Yaba Shimi Abshah Brakatham.
Yahweh Shimmy Yahshua.
Ya Shala.
Major, we say the prayers. Papa Wadong, let's face the east.
In the Lord prayer Hebrew, Abanao,
Abanao,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Kodash,
Kodash,
Ayah,
Ayah,
Shemkah,
Shemkah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Malakukah,
Malakukah,
Taba'ah,
Taba'ah,
Batazayah,
Batazayah,
Ayah,
Ayah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Baharatazah,
Baharatazah,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Ayah,
Ayah,
Bashemayim,
Bashemayim,
Thainao,
Thainao,
Akam,
Akam,
Cow,
Cow,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Wasanakinao,
Wasanakinao,
Kawapinao,
Kawapinao,
Kaznakinao,
Kaznakinao,
Kawapinao,
Kawapinao,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Taba'ainao,
Taba'ainao,
Baishaiwan,
Baishaiwan,
Abal,
Abal,
Aishainao,
Aishainao,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Rai,
Rai,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Akab,
Akab,
Bakulaku,
Bakulaku,
Wala'ala,
Wala'ala,
Wala'para,
Wala'para,
Wa'av, Wa'layam,
Wa'av,
Aman.
Amen. This is the Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father,
Our Father,
who art in heaven,
who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done,
thy will be done
on earth
on earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts,
Give us our debt,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory, forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Is the power in Hebrew, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua,
Yahweh Shimmy Yahshua,
Baruch Hashem,
Baruch Shah,
Nathanael,
Nathanael,
Akak,
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 La Para,
La Para,
Akam Bakala,
Ma'amala,
Wakam Barawa,
Wakal Marawa,
Akak,
Akak,
La Tahar,
La Tahar,
Ham Batazarayam,
Hamazarayim,
Akak,
Akak,
La Koyam,
La Koyam,
Hamatayam,
Hamatim,
Akak,
Akak,
Ara Karoth,
Arakarat,
Hamatala,
Hamatala,
Agarashan,
Agarashan,
Bashem Yahushua,
Shimmy Yahshua,
the Wadaman.
Wadaman. This is a prayer for the power in English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
In the name of Yahushua,
please give us the power.
please give us power.
The power to hear all manner of sickness.
The power to heal all manner of
And
sickness,
all manner of disease.
all manner of
The
disease,
power to cleanse the lepers.
the power to cleanse the
The
leper,
power to raise the dead.
the power to raise the
The
dead,
power against unclean spirits.
the power against unclean
Cast
spirits,
them out.
cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Asha,
Asha,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Al-Harayam,
Al-Haram,
Mayatan,
Mayatan,
Waba'awa,
Waba'awa,
Azari,
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 Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Asha,
Asha,
Shemayim,
Shemayim,
Warataza,
Barataz,
Alatan,
Alatan,
Zamawat,
Zamawat,
Regal,
Regal,
Al-Nanawam,
Al-Yanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hanan La'ah,
Hanan La'ah,
Nanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Dayashan,
Dayashan,
Sharamar,
Sharamar,
Yashal,
Yasha'ala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazari,
Tazar,
Ayah,
Ayah,
Yamka,
Yamka,
Yadawam,
Yanawam,
Yashamash,
Yashamash,
Lalakanka,
Lalakanka,
Yarak,
Yarak,
Balai Yola,
Balai,
Lora,
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamarka.
Yashamarka.
Rakarai.
Rakarai.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Of the apostle.
Of the apostle.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Tazaanka.
Tazaanka.
Wabaanka.
Wabaanka.
Mayatai.
Mayatai.
Wa'ai alon.
Wa'ai alon. This is Psalms 120, Psalms 121 in the English. I'll lift up my eyes into the hills.
I'll lift my eyes to the hills.
Which cometh my help.
Which cometh my help.
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee,
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel,
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall not slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right
The
hand.
sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming
from
in.
this time forward
From this time forth.
and evermore.
Even evermore. The Psalm 83 in Hebrew. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Damiyah.
Al-Damiyah.
Al-Dakarash.
Al-Dakarash.
Wa al-Dashakwat.
Al-Dashakwat.
Al. Kayad Hanan.
Kayahana.
What was funny? Wa Yabyaka.
Abiyah.
Wa Hayama.
Hayamah.
Wa Yan.
Wayan.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Amyaka.
Al-Amyaka.
Ra'ay Yamyawa.
Ayamah.
Sawadah.
Sawadah.
Wa Atad.
Wa'atad.
Wa Tazwa.
Wa'atazwa.
Al-Tazbawanyaka.
Al-Tazawanyaka.
Amaro.
Amaro.
Lakatwa.
Lakatwa.
Wa Lakakiyada.
Lakakiyada.
Lagalu.
Megala.
Wa La'ayasakar.
Wa'ayasakar.
Shimya Sha'al.
Shimya Sha'al.
Awadah.
Awadah.
Kayad Tazwa.
Kayahana.
Labat.
Labat.
Yakatwa.
Yakadwa.
Al-Yanka.
Al-Yanka.
Barath.
Barath.
Wa Karath.
Karath.
Halahaya.
Alahaya.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Yashamai.
Yashamai.
Alay Yam Mabaabwa.
Aliyah.
Wa Agarium.
Wa'agari.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa Amirwan.
Wa'awan.
Wa Amalak.
Wa'amalak.
Palashaf.
Kalashak.
Ayasha Adwa.
Al-Sham.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Gamashawar.
Nalawa.
Nanawa.
Ma'ain.
Ma'ain.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Zerawai.
Zayawai.
Labanya Lawat.
Zabanya Lawat.
Selah.
Selah.
Ashalaham.
Ashalaham.
Kamatwan.
Kamadwan.
Kasayasarai.
Kayasarai.
Kayatyan.
Kayayan.
Banyakal.
Banakal.
Kawashwan.
Kawashwan.
Dashardampwa.
Nashadamwa.
Bayaida Ayro.
Bayayayro.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La Damat.
La Damat.
Shawatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Dadai.
Nadai.
What's lucky? Ya Mawa.
Ya'mawa.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Wa Kasaapa.
Wa Kazabu.
Wa Kasasabak.
Wa Kazazabak.
Wa Kasatazal.
Wa Kazazal.
Wana.
Wana.
Cow.
Cow.
That's a Abdua.
That's an Iowa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Now right this one. Nai. Yarash.
Nayarash.
Nanawa.
Nanawa.
Af.
Ath.
Nanawa.
Nanawa.
Alahayam.
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 Alahayah.
Shawatamwa.
Shawatamwa.
Kagawa.
Kagawa.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
La Punya Waka.
Panya Lakwa.
Kaash.
Kaash.
The Ira Yaro.
The Ira.
Wow. Kala Abba.
Wa Kalabu.
Dalahat.
Dalahat.
Hayaram.
Hayaram.
Khan.
Khan.
Darabdampa.
Deradam.
Bashar Iraka.
Basiraka.
Wabasa.
Wabasa.
Wapa Anka.
Wabanka.
Dalabaham.
Dalabaham.
Wala'a.
Wala'at.
Payahayam.
Payaram.
Kwalawan.
Kwalawan.
Wayai Bashka.
Wayai Baba Shakwat.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashapwa.
Yashapwa.
Wayaba Aywa.
Ya'ai Ba'aiwa.
Aliyai.
Adiyai.
Where I call para.
Wa'ai Kadabara.
Where I Baigwa.
Wa'ai Abaidwa.
Where I da Aywa.
Wa'ai Da'aiwa.
Kaya Ada.
Kaya Ata.
Shumka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Labadka.
Labatka.
Allah Yawan.
Alai Lawan.
Al Kahai Arataza.
Al Kahai as a title.
Okay, I'm going Read it, Psalms 83, verse 1. Keep not your silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For thy low.
For thy low.
Enemies make a tumble.
The enemies make a tumble.
And they may hate thee.
And they may hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
And they have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against our people.
Against thy people.
And consulted us.
And consulted.
Against our hidden ones.
Against thy hidden ones.
And they have said.
They have said.
Come.
Come.
Let us cut them off.
Let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
For the name of Israel.
Let the name of Israel.
May be no more remembered.
May be no more remembrance.
For they had consulted together.
They had consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The Israelites.
The Ishmaelites.
Moab.
Moab.
And the Hagarines.
The Hagarenes.
Gebal. Gabal.
Gabal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
And the inhabitants of Tyre.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur also is joined with them.
Ashur also is joined with
And
them.
they're hoping the children of Lot.
They are hoping the children of Lot.
Selah.
Selah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sarah.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kishon.
At the brook of Kishon.
We preserved their Endor.
We preserved that Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
For their nobles of Orel.
Make their nobles like a rail.
And like Said.
And like Said.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes.
All their princes.
As Sabbath.
As Sabbath.
As a Samuna.
As a Samuna.
Who said.
Who has said.
Let them take themselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The house of Yahweh.
The houses of Yahweh as a possession.
Oh my Yahweh.
Oh, my power.
Oh my power. Make thee like a wheel.
Make it like a wheel.
As a stomach for the wind.
As a stomach for the wind.
As the fire burn the wood.
As the fire burn the wood.
As the flame set the mountains on fire.
As the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute them
with thy tempest.
with thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
Oh Yahweh.
Oh Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And trouble forever.
And trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That those names belong to Yahweh.
That thy name alone is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Of all the earth.
Of all the earth. All right, SARS. It's turn. Shabby needs to be seated. I'm Officer Cos. Officer Lock, you up to the next Sabbath service. I'm Officer Cos. To my far right, you have Officer Napash. And in the center, you have Officer Gashan. Understand? Again, welcome to the Sabbath service. We are at 3353 Glenwood Road. This Sabbath service is for our people here. If you're not attending the Sabbath service, you should be here. You understand? It is required. The Lord asks you to have a holy convocation on the Sabbath days, to be here, to learn your culture, to learn who you are, to read the Hebrew. This is the culture that we give back to you. You should be here. If you're not slaving or not medically sick or what the case may be, you should be here at the school during the Sabbath service. You understand? Again, welcome to the Sabbath service. And we're gonna begin to read the first 7 verses. We're gonna start in Numbers 35 and 25. Numbers 35 and 25. First of all, I want to clap it up for the Passover. We already made it to the Passover. You know what I'm saying? And if this is somebody's first time at the Passover, I would like to hear about it. But definitely the first time at Passover, you should have seen that the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the generals, the captains, all the men, the sisters was glorious in the outfits and stuff, in the head wraps. The babies were set together, and the young kids were good to go. I mean, we saw so many brothers in so many different garments, man. It was just crazy. What you think? What you gonna think? What you wearing next year, man? Something bright, something light. What you got going on? I know I got a lot of ideas of what I want to do next year. You know what I'm saying? I do know that. But it was wonderful, gloriously. And matter of fact, clap it up for the Hebrew 2022 graduates. You know what I mean? Shouts out to them brothers, man. They worked hard, they fought hard. And they got what was coming to them. They got the security of the jacket, of what we call the cover. You understand? That cover, like the Christians say, they covered in the blood. And we covered the Lord. You understand? They covered in the blood. We really covered, in the blood. So we was able to get those jackets, man. And that's just one step further into this priesthood that we indulge into. You understand? So shouts out to them brothers, man. They worked hard, we fought hard. We was able to get our reward. All right, so we're going to start at Numbers 35 and 25 in the Hebrew. Want to read the Hebrew for us? Oh, he's good to go with it. I got faith in you.
That's right.
Let's go.
Come. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 25 in the Hebrew. Wahataza Yelawa Ha'ai Da Yahai Salakia Ha'ai Da Ha Af Haratazak Mayad Gaal Hadam Wahasha Yada
Where you at?
It's Wahasha
Waha?
Ya
Shayaba.
Ba
Shabbat.
Salaki Atha Ha'ai Da
Idaha.
Daha Al Ayar Makwa Lasa Wa
Yes, Makala.
Makwalat
Makula.
Makwalat Salaki
Makalakwa.
Makalakwa Ashar Nasa Shamaha Wayashad Salaki Baha Salaki Baha I Mawath Hakahan Hagadal Ashar Mashak Atawa Bashaman Hakwadash, verse 26. Wa'am Yataza Ha Datazak
Sarah. Hara. Tazak.
Hara Tazak Salaki Ath Gadawal Ayar Makwalatwa Ashar Yanawas Shamaha Salaki. Verse 27. Wamataza Atwa Gaal Hadam Makwa Wataza Lagad Wall. Did I say that? Verse 27. Lagad Bawal Salakia Ayar Makwalatwa Robert Tazak Gaal Hadam Af Haratazak Ayan Lawa Dam. Verse 28. Kaya Ba'aya Makwalatwa Yashab I Mayak Slakia Mawath, Hakahan, Habadal, Slakia, Wa'ak, Raya, Mawath, Hak Kahan, Ha Gadal, Yashawab, Slakia, Washahab, Washawab, Slakia, Washawab, Slakia. Haratazak, Al, Arataza, Salaki, Ika Taza Thawa, verse 29, Wahayawa, Allah, Lakam, Lakakwatha, Slaki, Lakakwath, Mashapat, Ladara, Thaikum, Yakam, Bakal, Mawa Shah Datayakam, Kal, verse 30. Kal, Makaha, Napash, Lapaya, Adayam, Yaratazak, Ath, Haratazak, Wa'ai, Akkad, La'a, Ya'ai Naha, Bana Pash, Lama Wath. Verse 31. Wala'a, Thakwa, Kawa, Kapar, Lana Pash, Ratazak, Ashar, Hawa, Rashai, Lamawath, Kaya, Mawath, Yawamath, verse 32.
Last verse.
Wala'a, Kawa, Kapar, Lana Was, Al, Ayar, Makwalatwa, Lashawab, Lasha Bath, Barataza, Mawath, Hakahan.
Messiah Christ, clap it up for him. You got it yourself. He's reading that thing, man. He's reading that thing. It's a hell of a job. You read that. Messiah Christ. All right. We can go back up to 30, 25, 35 and 25. And we're going to read it in English. Anybody know where we left off 2 weeks ago? I know it's been a long time off. We ain't been to Sabbath church in a minute, but we left off where we were setting up refuge in all the cities of the priest was having something like what we call today prison. And he was telling, he was going through all the laws, and pretty much when people were killing one another or it was killing somebody, they would get they'd be judged by the high priest, and put to a city of refuge and whatnot. Oh, go ahead.
No, I definitely say they're put in certain parts of the city, you know, places what we would consider to be like jails,
Right.
you know, whatnot.
Absolutely. And this is going to continue on with some more of those the instructions of what it's going to do. I think the last time we talked about a brother who's going to kill somebody, premeditated murder, pretty much. If you lie and wait for a brother to come up or a sister, and you take something and thrust them and kill them, what would happen to you? So that's called premeditated murder. And so things like this was going on in Israel back then, just as well as it's going on today. The only difference is that the righteous judgment was done back then, and not so righteous judgment is done right now. Because right now it says, innocent to proven guilty. However, we know the truth about the matter of that is we're always guilty. And shoot, you're going to try to, like hell, to prove that you're innocent, but you're still locked up. You know what I'm saying? So the wicked rulers of today is taking over these daggone refuge, whereas we had our own nation and we judge things rightfully. And we're going to continue on of how we actually judge things the right way. Should we next 7 verses in English for me, if you could, Baba Shah?
Come. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 25, in the English. And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger.
We understand that the slayer is somebody that killed one of your loved ones or somebody you know or your family members, in case whatever. And the revenger is that person that was wrong too. He says, so somebody killed your son. He's the slayer, and the mom, loved ones, and family, those are the revengers. Understand? All right, go ahead.
Come. A revenger of blood, and the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge, whither he was fled.
So he came from one city to here. What happens if that happens today? So somebody committed a crime in Jacksonville, and they fled over to here. What happens? Go ahead.
If they got a warrant out on him where he fled to, they got to arrest him because he has a...
So you get transferred back to Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? So those laws, this is where Esau gets his laws from. So you committed a crime here in Atlanta and you flew to New Jersey, they're gonna lock you up in Jersey and come back and get you and take you right back to where the crime was committed at. Same thing happened now. Same thing in these scriptures. So your oppressor doesn't do nothing of his own. Nothing. They don't know nothing. They just as dumb as I don't know what. They get it from us, our scripture. You understand? So this is where we're going to. Keep reading.
Come. And he shall abide in it until the death of the high priest, which was anointed with the holy oil.
So read that with me again. He was unto the death of what?
And he shall abide in it until the death of the high priest.
What is the it? He should abide in it. What is the it?
It's a lot.
Go ahead.
His cell.
The refuge.
Refuge.
That's right, the refuge. You're right, brother. We try to keep it. You bring it home, and we try to keep it into the scriptures. But you're exactly right. So he should abide in it, that refuge, that place of refuge, until what?
Until the death of the high priest.
Man, what is this talking about, man? What is this talking about? This scripture's real, man. What is this talking about?
Fly.
That brother about to do a bid. That brother about to do a bid. I mean, you talking about he had to abide into that city of refuge until the high priest dies. Now, if I ain't mistaken, there's always going to be a high priest in Israel. Isn't that? Is it right? It's always going to be a high priest. So if this high priest dies, you're going to know another brother who's going to be in that high priest. So it doesn't matter what happens. This brother going to be in that city for a long time. He go up the road. He said upper room. He going to the upper room. So this is what it's saying. I mean, he gonna stay in there. First of all, they're gonna I forget what they call that when they transform. They're gonna expedite him. They're gonna transfer him back to the city where he was at, and then he gonna get judged and found guilty for that murder he did. Because if you read up, it was the murder charge that he did. He got set with murder. So he gonna go up the road for a while until the high priest dies. So, that man he going in for live. He going in for a long time, man. I'm telling you, man, this oppressor gets his rules and his ruling from these scriptures, man. I tell you that we are the people of this book. Right. We set the rules, and they just came in. I can't say it's so dumb, you know what I'm saying, or is that we just so stupid because we're lost. We don't understand that this book is for us. and we keep on thinking that it's for other people, and we try to get the prized possession, this book, to other races and other nationalities and other people other than the 12 tribes of Israel, the black, Hispanics, and the Native Indians. If we keep this to us, we'll start understanding this book, we understand our culture. This is a nation. When we rule this earth, this is what we have set up. But the thing is, we ran it justly. You know what I'm saying? We ran this thing the just way. We had a proper system of how we, the proper vetting system. We had a proper system where we can go in and the congregation rules righteously over brother, and we sit there and say, we look at we look at everything that happened in that scenario, and we judge it the right way. There was no perspective of persons. You either did the crime, or you're gonna do the time until the high priest died. You're going up the road, you're gonna do a bid. This is what's gonna happen. All right?
So,
Go ahead.
it's so heavy that, we read these scriptures and bring it out. They don't read these scriptures in the churches and stuff.
Nah.
But like back where I live in Greene County and stuff, when I study like the first churches and stuff in Georgia and stuff like that, they court cases and stuff, like for instance, they got a court case called a monkey trial.
The monkey trial.
A monkey trial.
No, that's what niggas up. It was like, go ahead.
And this trial, it was one of the first huge trials that they had. It's a whole, take a whole class just to sit there and talk about it. But this trial held in church. Most of all the court cases and trials and stuff, they were held in churches.
Right.
So when the heathen started selecting how they do today, selecting our so-called black leaders and stuff, these so-called appointed pastors like, Reverend Sharpton, Martin Luther King and stuff like that, when they select these preachers and
Jesse
stuff,
Jackson.
Jesse Jackson, that have churches and stuff, they started, back in those times, they started taking the courts out of the churches.
Right.
Because you didn't imagine what would happen if we had our own trial, if we were judging our own people in our churches.
Right.
We would be 100 times more lenient than what the oppressor is, the way he judges
Right.
in his courthouse, because it went in the courthouse back
Right.
then. You know what I'm saying?
In other words, we'll judge each other like your oppressor judges their people.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? They take pride in their people. They take that leniency on their people and give them what? Go give them McDonald's when they're hungry. They go and stroke their head. The judges come down from them. The judge come off the daggone stand to go ahead and stroke the oppressor's head. To let them know, it's going to be all right, baby. You're going up the road, but you're going to be all right. There's no oppressor came and stroke our head when they send Lil Pookie and Ray Ray and not one of our people up this road. Ain't no stroking of the head. Ain't no giving them McDonald's. Ain't no taking them nowhere. Hey, we just had an incident where a sister was in the back of a daggone cop car. They wouldn't even let her breathe. Had her, hog tied. They wouldn't even let her loose to get back on the chair. So what you're saying is so heavy that if you had it in the churches, we could arraign and judge our own people like we was doing back in the scriptures.
Yeah, so it was a fight over there in the United Kingdom. They was talking about, okay, they had like some kind of 420 party, something like that, and a white girl got to fight with a black girl. So police broke it up. They was on the ground, so the police let the white woman up on her feet, while the other police officer had a black woman to the ground handcuffed.
Dang.
On the ground handcuffed, and let the white girl get up and walk. Be on her feet.
And I think that also happened in New Jersey. It was two brothers fight.
Dang.
It was not two brothers. It was a brother and a Caucasian fight. And I think it was in school. Same thing happened. Everybody knew that the Caucasian was wrong, but the cops came in, immediately arrested the little brother, got him on hand, locked him on up, and put his arms behind his back, whatever, while the other oppressor walked away. And people was trying to tell him it wasn't his fault. It was the oppressor's fault that happened. But that's just how triggered they are about us. They look at their own people and automatically give them remorse. And they look at us and automatically give you disgust. They're gonna lock you up all off. You guilty already when they see you. And that's why we shouldn't be in our daggone. That's why we should have a divided nation. We should split from your oppressors, man, because we will never be treated fairly. Never be treated fairly. But yet still we think that our oppressors is going to, they're going to forgive us, or they're going to love us better, or they're going to give us a chance, or they're going to give us a break. They never do. They never do. But yet we still think they're going to. And in the results, our brothers and sisters end up dying in the back of cop cars, dying with the feet on your neck, hanging from trees. All these things, all these atrocities happen to us because we've given our love instead of to each other, we're giving it to our oppressor. So we got to bring it back to these scriptures and start judging each other according to these scriptures and dealing with each other. Have the same mercy we got on our people as the oppressor has on their people. I can't be mad at the oppressors, man. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
Salaki. It's so heavy because nobody quotes, when you sit back and just listen, nobody quotes grace and mercy more than a Christian. But you don't have grace and mercy for your own people.
Not even that. Your oppressors, they preach grace and mercy. And they're still locking us up. They're doing injustice to us. But they preach the grace and mercy too. But our people really, like you said, preach that grace and mercy. But yet, let a brother step on their shoe. Oh hell.
The grace and mercy ran out.
And the grace and ran out. You step on somebody Jordans, they 12s or 13s or whatever it is they got out. What number Jordan is out right now? What number's out? What's the Jordan numbers out right now? The best numbers. What's the retro Jordan now? Anybody know? I don't know. Officer Ricard, I'm sure you know. Officer Ricard, I know them sneakers, man. But you step on somebody Jordan, like you said, them grace and mercy runs out. It's done. But yet they want to keep hollering grace and mercy, man, and we get none from each other. None from each other. That's why we got to gather ourselves together, the blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and start showing more mercy and grace and love for our brothers. You understand? I was talking to a brother last night, and he told me, ain't God supposed to give us 70 times 70? I said, brother, you got that wrong. That's each other. We got to give each other 70 times 70. He's like, oh, so Lord don't forgive you? Lord do what he want to do. He can give you 70. He can forgive you 70 times 7, or he can kill you in the first try you do something wrong. You can drop dead right then. I said, have you ever heard of somebody who smoked crack for the first time and was dead? The Lord didn't give him 70 times 70 on that one. What we gonna do, sister? You good?
Yeah, bug.
Why, one of your cousins came in?
What
little bug Floyd?
Trying to come on with me.
You trying to get some of this word.
Where you go?
Oh, he right over there. On that side, right there. There you go. Falling in.
I'm blind. I'm sorry, sir.
Nah, you too wild. So yeah, so we're going to keep on going for this.
Come on.
All right, keep reading. We're at 27?
Verse 26.
26.
Verse 26. But if the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge, whither he was fled.
So the slayer shall any time come without the border of the city of the refuge where he fled. So if he kind of break loose and get out of there, keep reading.
Verse 27. And the revenger of the blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood.
Explain what's going on there. What happened in there? What's going on?
Salakia, saying that if he escaped and he get crossed those lines, he crossed them lines, he free game. He can gun them down. He can do pretty much everything. His blood can be on his hands, and he's not guilty for it. Just kind of how it's a cold-blooded thing because we know Esau ain't got no green card over here, but how Mexican can cross the border on a Texan property, he got the right to gun him. Man, woman, or child.
There you go.
So because he a so-called immigrant, when we know in the truth that our oppressor, which is the Confederate devil the Bible speaks of,
right?
He is the illegal alien. He is the vagabond. He is the criminal
on this earth. That's right. So if somebody who kills you just say somebody killed your child, right? And they took him away to refuge. And yet he breaks out of that refuge and come back to your property. And he's trespassing on your land. And you just so happen to have your shotter, that 9 mil right on your handy. You handy with the steel. And you go ahead and take his life. Because these are trespassers. He's coming back to your property. If you know he done killed you, one of your people. It's not premeditated murder. Now it's protecting your family. Now it's protecting yourself. Because you already know he already done it to one of your family members. Now he's back. He escaped and came back on your property. Scripture says here that you scrape without the borders of your city of the refuge, and the revenger of blood killed the slayer, he should not be guilty of blood. Why is he not guilty?
Because he's escaping.
Not only did he escape, he came back to your area.
Yeah.
And you just defended yourself. Because you would look at this as the Lord said, thou shalt not kill. Well, this is protection. So we know what was happening here is not against the law. Because we had to follow the law.
Yeah, we fear for our life.
He feared for he got to put with a president. He feared for he feared for his life. I see you take my child life. Now you came back. You gonna try? No. You ain't taking my other child. So I'm following the law. I'm protecting my family. So he protected himself. So he pulls out his 9mm. He pulls his I'm sorry. He thought it 308. he what's it called what's it called down in Atlanta? The Draco.
Yeah, Draco.
He pulled out the Draco, whatever, and he handled his business because he's protecting his family. Like I said, we're not condoning breaking the law, but you have to defend yourself and your family. Do whatever's necessary. You defend yourself. Our brothers here in the truth. We tell everybody we ain't Christians, but we ain't going to start no stuff either. But rest assured, you run up on us and do some things, we're going to defend ourselves. And Lord be with you. You know what I mean? So this is what's happening here. Read it again. From the top, 27.
Okay. And the revenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer. He shall not be found of slaughtering. He should not be guilty of blood.
Here, read it, verse 28.
Verse 28. Because he should have remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the high priest.
He was trying to escape a death sentence. He's trying to get out of there. He knew he going up the road. He's supposed to stay there to the death of the priest. He knew it, so he just want to escape. I'm going out. I'm getting out of here. And because he should have remained in that city of refuge, but he wanted to escape, he should have stayed to the death of the high priest. Go ahead.
But after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession.
Keep going. Verse 29.
Verse 29. So these things shall be for a statute.
What?
A statute.
A suggestion. Right? Is it a statute or does it say suggestion?
A statute.
You might want to do this. It says a statute. Go ahead.
Of judgment unto you throughout your generations.
For a little bit of time.
Unto you throughout your generations.
Only until, 10 years.
Unto you throughout your generations.
Throughout your generation. Meaning today, this is supposed to be going on through our generation. But how are we going to do this if we don't know where we're supposed to go? We don't even have a nation to do this through. We have to depend on oppression to judge us rightfully and to do this. And he does not. He does a horrible job of it. He does a horrible. He go out there and plant something on his brother and say, you know what? This brother did this. Or he gets one of our children and say, what? Here's some McDonald's. All you got to do, young man, is just cooperate us and tell me you did the crime. Just cooperate and we'll let you go. And that young man cooperates and he still locks him up. And locks him up anyway. That's what our president do. That's what our president do. The sevens up in New York, I forgot what you call them. Them brothers who got accused of all those crimes. Who's that?
I don't know. I know it's like 5 brothers.
Yeah, they got locked up. They coerced them brothers, man. Them brothers ain't been the same since. Some of them committed suicide. Some of them ain't been the same since that whole time, man. There was one brother who's locked up in Rikers Island for something he didn't do. They released him, and he hung himself months later. This is what this prison system do to our young men, our young children, man. This prison system, you send a young child, 15 and 16 years old, up the road to Rikers Island up in New York. You think he's going to be the same for something he didn't do? And he gets out, you think they're going to be the same? They're not going to be the same. But this is what our oppressors do to our young children, our young women. I say our young men because there's more men in prison than our women. It's been statistics saying that among all the nations and the cities and the countries over, the United States has been the only state that's locked up more people of their own than any of them. That goes to show you we don't belong to this state. We don't belong to these people. Because in Pakistan, they don't lock their people up like that. Over in Japan, they don't lock their people up like that. Only here in America, they're locking our people up like that because we're so-called Americans. So it's considered we're from here, so they're locking up our people. But they know it's a difference between us. So it's not their people they're locking up. It's our people they're locking up. It's the nation of Israel they're locking up. Our people. But because we have a citizenship here to the United States, they consider it we're together with these people. But it's a difference. We're not their people. And they don't care, they know it. That's why they lock us up at the rate they do to us. They don't care about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's been going on. Keep reading. So this is supposed to be this should be for a statute and a judgment unto you throughout your generations. Go ahead.
Come. In all your dwellings.
Everywhere you go. Wherever Israel go, this is supposed to be a law, a statute, and a judgment.
It was the Central Park 5.
Central Park 5. The water, 611 up
And
Uh-huh.
then Khalif Browder was the one who committed suicide.
Khalif who?
Browder.
Khalif Browder. That's the brother, that young brother that went up to Rikers Island. Khalif Browder. Now that young brother's dead. And you think this, like I said, we have one of them Central Park 5s in every state, every city. We have a Central Park 5. We have the Khalif brothers in every state. We have one in Atlanta. There's been brothers locked up, 5 or 6 brothers locked up in Atlanta, unjustly. There's been a George Floyd in Atlanta. There's been all kind of cases in every state and city and state across this nation. But you don't hear about it. But there's one in every daggone nation. And it goes untold. Let that sink in. And we upset about George Floyd, and we should be. Because it was done wrong. He was done wrong. There's a George Floyd right in Atlanta that nobody cares about. The story didn't get out. There's a George Floyd right next door in Florida. There's one right next to us in Alabama, Tennessee. Wherever there's barrio and ghettos at, there's a Jorge in Mexico that's been done this too. In California that is done too. There's a Jorge in New Jersey, in New York, that's been done too. But no one knows about it. That sinks in, man. Our people are dying. And why we're dying? Because these are curses that we've been given to. Because we didn't keep the laws, statutes, and judgment throughout our generation like the Lord told us. Wherever you go, you're supposed to keep these laws and statutes and commandments. Wherever we go. If you kept the laws, statutes, and commandments, we wouldn't have these issues. But the problem is we don't know who we are. We don't know where we come from. We don't know our language because we are lost. But thank the Most High for Commander General Hana in the Isupk, because he's the one that saved my life. He saved my life. Walking here 4 years ago, thought I was a man, thought I knew things, thought I knew stuff in life. Knew shit, ain't no damn thing. It's like, ain't no nothing. I thought I knew, like I said, my family's all full of pastors and preachers and deacons. Mom's a deacon to this day. My father, he's a deacon to this day. My grandfather was a pastor. So they tell me, oh yeah, you're going to be a preacher. All my life they told me, you're going to be a preacher, you're going to be a preacher. They didn't know what kind of preacher I really was going to be. I'm really a preacher. I'm really a priest. You understand? But I never knew until 4 years ago, reading the scriptures, going back and looking at all these things. I had to reevaluate my life. I had to reevaluate what I was taught. When I start seeing things like keep the statutes and judgment throughout your generations, I'm like, generations? I knew what a generation was. Generation after generations, grandfather, grandkids, come down to me, my passed it down. I knew what that was. So I'm like, okay, we're supposed to keep this to generations. Are we supposed to keep this stuff still to this day? But no, you ain't got to do that because we're covered by the blood. Well, I found out that it's not true. If you want to be covered in the blood of Christ, Christ died. If you want to be covered in his blood, then you know what? You killed Christ. That's the blood you're going to be covered in. You killed him. Now, you have to answer the blood that you put on him. I don't want to be covered in the blood of that way. I want to be covered by Christ. You understand? And that's what those covered Hebrew Academy 2022 brothers. Covered, you understand? And by the way, these all 3 brothers right here, we warred together, we fought together, and we earned that cover. You understand? Most High Christ. Most High Christ. Good job, warriors. So this is the stuff that we got to keep. If throughout the generations we go to, this is what we need to do. Keep reading, brother.
Come. Verse 30. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one
mouth of who?
By the mouth of witnesses.
Spell witnesses.
WITNESSES.
Keep going.
But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die.
So that's what happened here. Oh, he raped me. Remember that? Oh, he raped me. One witness by this woman. Now our brother's locked up for life because she lied. Even the scriptures knew that this was wrong. How many times, I mean, we got a whole town burned because of one lie of a white woman. Tulsa, Oklahoma, burnt down to the ground. Our brother Emmett Till killed, face kicked in, unrecognizable because of this lie of a one woman. If they would have used this law and say, okay, where's your other witness at? Oh, it's just you? And this brother can't die because of you. Down in Rosewood, Florida, another great city, burnt down because one woman lied about her brother raping her, and come to find out she lied. All of them lied. But this is the case of one witness. One witness.
It's a lot.
Go ahead.
It's so heavy. Just look how times and table turn. You committed all these atrocities because underage. You claimed an underage minor raped you or blew a whistle at you.
Whistle at you.
But now you got these grown ass pedophiles messing with each other. You ain't trying to burn down that slot. You ain't trying to burn down that city or nothing.
Goddamn, the Catholic Church done not whistled at us, but raped a lot of children. They've been covered by the blood. They've been covered.
Salaki.
Yeah, shoot. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said about the pedophile, shoot, Midtown still up and alive. Midtown should be burnt to the
Should be
ground.
burnt to the ground. Sodom and Gomorrah should be burnt to the ground.
It's
You gonna say
still-
something else?
I definitely say the Catholic Church, the Boy Scouts. I mean, all of them, man. It's crazy that the atrocity they committed back then, and they don't even think enough to reflect on the things that they did to us back then, to compare to what the things that they do now, and trying to make it legal.
Trying to make it legal.
Trying to make it legal.
But yeah, our brothers died this time.
Died.
That tells you this world,
Thousands.
the world that we operate in was not for us. And you wonder why we failed at the race that we're trying to run. They tell our children, go to school, get a great education. You gotta do 110% better than your oppressor. Then come find out years later your oppressor was hiring somebody to do his math for him, his problems. We try to take the SATs, the ACTs to get to a great college. So our parents say you gotta work hard, get in a great college. But yet our oppressors are hiring other people to take their ASVABs in their tests, SAT tests, and the AC test scores. But we struggling. We competing against this. We competing against people. We try to do 110%, but they're not even doing 50%. How can you win? You can't win. They're setting our people up saying, okay, there's no more home ec. There's no more electrical engineering. We're taking that all out of school. Because when I was going to school, there was more brothers in the wood shop, electrician schools, all those classes, more than anybody else. It was us doing it. It was us and back then the Spanish. And then wiring up the buildings, doing the wood shop, doing the work. Those are what you called home economics or the what was those classes they was called? Forgot the class they called, but it was classes that you can learn how to build automotive shops. You can do electricity. You can do woodwork. You learn how to do that. It was hands-on training. Those type of works. Those classes filled with blacks and Hispanics. I remember because I was in wood shop.
Yeah.
Can't cut a damn piece of wood right now to this day. I was in them shops.
I had shop class.
Yeah, shop classes. I was in them.
Yeah, we had to take. Well, I know in the 8th grade, everybody took shop class and everybody took home ec.
In home ec. Yeah, home ec and shop was regular. And typing too, right? It was typing back then. Typewriter.
Oh yeah, that was a different class. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just too old for this. I'm telling my age. It was mandatory. You had to take the typing, and you had to take home ec and wood shop. I guess that's why I was in wood shop. I had to take it. But it was extra stuff that you could sign up for to take the class. I think it was automatics, electrician, and something else. And nothing was filled with blacks and Hispanics. They took that out of school now. They want you to focus on the education. Well, they took them out of schools because of us. We was getting those work. We wasn't going to college. We was leaving high school, going out of high school, and having a great career with our hands, making money. And when they saw this, they cut it. Said, we can't do this no more. We was far exceeding a brother or your oppressor who went to college his 4 years and graduated. This brother only went to high school, graduated, got his own electrical business, own HVAC, own automotive mechanic shop. And they saw this. Don't think your oppressor don't watch you and see what you do and write things about it and then you do comparisons. They do this. That's their job to do. These billboards you see out here, they have the McDonald's fries, and then over here they got the drink. Or if you go to the movies and they got the popcorn, that's setting you up. That's programming you to get something to eat. That's what they do. They have people who do teams just to contrast and figure out what ticks you, what your ticks are, to sign you up here. If you got Facebook, you see it all the time. You say something, they'll send it to your feed. And then the next thing you know, you buying it, what you was talking about, you buying it. They do studies on this. It's part of their team. They have a team selected just for that. So don't think they don't know what you're doing. They study this stuff. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's so heavy what you're bringing out right now, but that was our culture ever since the beginning. You know, our ancestors, our elders watched us, and a lot of times it went when we came to when we gathered, whether it was up front of a tree or a tent or whatnot. That your instructor, that person in your village watched that child. Right. And a lot of times that child took on the trait of his parents or her parents, you know, and they put that child they put that child's skills, you know, they let that child did their skills the whole entire time until they pretty much perfected and they grew into it. That's right. It just, when we got older, when they started to try to integrate us, you know, integration just didn't start with Martin Luther King. It started way before then. That's right. And what they would do is they brought this thing, a diploma. The origin of the diploma didn't come from us. That diploma is not our culture. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have anything to do with that. They were like some Greek type mess. You know what I'm saying? But it's just heavy that, you know, if you was in the blacksmithing, your father did blacksmith work. You know what I'm saying? That most likely that's what that child came up with his father. That's right. And by the time he went to school or whatnot, that teacher let him did that during his time. If your child knew how to sew, when that child came to school, that child studied just as much at school as they did at home with their mom or whoever would need cooking or you know or sharecropping or whatnot, the cropping. That's how your child was brought up in what we consider schools today. Back then in our villages and stuff, back in those late times.
What your king do? Christ. What was he? Christ was what? Christ was a carpenter. You think he just grew up saying, I'm going to be a carpenter? He did what his father did. His father, come here, man, I'm trying to do this thing. His father was a great carpenter, so Christ was a great carpenter. This is what we did. If you was a warrior, you used to use that man in Israel army and you war, that's what you did. You fought. I was doing that this morning. If you watch the 300, and they was asking all the people, hey, what is your profession? And they say, I was a blacksmith. What was your profession? Well, I am a carpenter. He looked at the warriors, what's your profession? Who? War. That's what they did. That's all they knew. They knew how to fight. They knew how to, blacksmith. They did all these things. But yet, we come back to this world, and the judgments hold off. So now we're trying to compete in this world, and this world's not made for us. That's why we fall into these trickeries, because we're trying to fit. We're a round peg trying to fit in different, in the square pie. We're trying to fit. We're going to make it fit, but it don't fit so perfect. So they got to trim this way, trim this side, trim this ways, trim this, do this a little different, so you can fit, and it don't feel right. So now you up in the Washington D.C., and now you sitting up on the government of the governor's seat. And you can't do shit for your people. But you trim your ways, kissing this butt, moving this law, changing that law. Even though it's gonna hurt your people, you change the law so you can sit in that seat. And then you get in that seat, now you're all alone. You watch your people destroyed. Ain't nothing you can do about it. But you get paid. So we trim our ways, knowing that this lady lied. When the scriptures say you're supposed to have many witnesses, but you sit there and fall for this, and you're allowed to go on. It's ridiculous. It's humiliating. And it's showing us that we should not take part in our oppressive work. You understand? So this scripture is heavy because it said out of the mouth of one witness should not testify against any person to cause them to die. And that's happened many, many times. You think that your oppressor is not going to pay for the stuff that he's done to us? You think he's not going to pay for all these things that he's done wrong? Even if the oppressor was a great oppressor, whatever case may be, if that even exists, which it don't, he broke the laws of the Most High God. He broke his laws. So we break the laws, and God punish us. You don't think he ain't going to punish them for breaking laws that was making us die? Oh yeah, they're going to pay for that. They can pay for their crimes, and this was a crime. What that white woman did, and what that city allowed her to do, to all those damn cities, they're going to get punished for this. That boxer That boxer that was on, they said that he raped somebody, he murdered some people, and they set it all up. That man never murdered nobody. He just had big time money, even though he was dating a white woman, that was his problem. But he did no crime. But because somebody said they saw his car leaving from that site, one witness said that, he called the police, this man lost his whole career and was in prison over that one lie, one person. This happens many, many times over the United States, man. Many, many times. All right? We keep reading. Verse 31.
Verse 31. Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death.
You don't take no satisfaction of killing nobody, just like the Lord. You don't take satisfaction of killing nobody. But, what's that? Hold on. Okay. Got people hanging around today. We're saying we don't take no satisfaction of a murder which is guilty in death, but he shall surely be put to death. You kill somebody, you will be put to death. All right, last verse. 32. You shall take.
Okay, come. Verse 32. And ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest.
Can you read? Is that the last verse? That's 32? Yeah, 32. We're gonna finish it out. Read 33 and 34.
Come. Verse 33. Verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Meaning that, you come over and pollute somebody's land, if you don't take care of it, if you let a murderer into your city and you don't handle that, you're going to have a murderer throughout the whole city. You're going to think everybody, okay, we all can do it. It's going to pollute your land. So the only way you can not pollute that land and cleanse it is the blood that you kill somebody, is the blood of your blood. You kill somebody, so it requires your blood to clean the mess. That way, once that's happened and people see this, it doesn't spread out through Israel. They're going to know, dang, if I kill this person, if I murder, just outright murder this brother, I'm going to die. So I'm not going to just straight out murder nobody. That cleanses your land. That keeps your land pure. But if you don't do that, like we done here, we got some rules for your Caucasians. He don't murder our people. Well, because of technicalities, we're going to let you go. So now people see that. Another person's going to do the same thing. I stood my ground. I feared for my life. Now he gets out. So now the whole land of the United States is polluted. Because now they can kill us at will, and everybody walks away and get away with it. That's pollution of the land. Keep going.
Come. Verse 34. Defile not, therefore, the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell.
Wherein who?
Wherein I dwell.
Who's I? The Lord.
Lord.
Can you keep reading?
For I, the Lord, dwell among the children of Israel.
That's so heavy right there. It says, I, the Lord, dwell amongst the children of Israel. Right now in the United States, the Lord dwells among us. He dwells among us. So he sees the atrocities that we're going through, but he also sees the wickedness that we do, and he also sees the wickedness that your oppressors do. Because he dwells among us. So when you say, well, Lord ain't seeing nothing, Lord, he said, I dwell among y'all. I see this. He has these angels that go up and down. Jacob's ladder. Record what you see. Record what you're doing. Sends it back up. Now the Lord himself ain't coming off his throne. When he says, the Lord, I dwell among you, that means he sends his messengers down here to check up on y'all, to see what y'all doing. Let's see if Officer Hassan showing up for Sabbath service. Let's see if the sister's doing what the Lord told them to do, or they talking trash to their husband. Let me see what's going on. I mean, let me see if these kids are doing great at school, or they at home, not eating pork, but they go to school, eat all the daggone pizza they want to. All the pepperoni pizza. They're writing this down. The messengers are writing this stuff down. They go up and forth, Jacob's ladder, back and forth. They come down, see what you're doing, write it down, record it, send it back up to Christ. Roll it, let it give it to Christ. This is what's going on. And that's very important to know, because if you're keeping your laws and statutes and commandments, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, now he can plead your case for you. Now you have a person who's an adversary. I mean, not an adversary. Who's a lawyer that advocates for you. So now if you need something, they can ask. Damn, Lord, I see Officer Deshaun down there struggling, and he's praying for this, praying for that. Well, Lord, can we help him? Christ will give me the report. God, give me the report. Keeping the Sabbath service? Check. Con on con. He's been keeping the law, statutes, commandments? Con on con. His brother been the brother of his brothers? Con on con. Now he's had something to stand on. Now the Lord can bless that brother, or he can say, you know what? Has he been keeping the Sabbath service? La-ah. He been keeping the statutes, commandments? La-ah. Shit, I can't help you. Tell you what. Shit, let his car blow up. Just don't blow up with him out of it. Make sure he's out of the car, let the car blow up. These are things that is happening. The report that goes up. You understand? The Lord dwells among us. Not the Lord himself, but his angels, his messengers are right here with us, recording everything down that we do. So when we say rehearse the righteous acts, this is what we're doing. We learn our Hebrew. We're going to classes. We're studying. We're doing all these things because we know we're supposed to be doing this. You understand? All right. Do it as well. Anybody got any questions? Statements? Comments? Sign Christ. We finish that up with that? All right, so next week, y'all write this down. We're going to start at Numbers 36 and 1. It's going to be a new chapter. We finally got through this chapter.
So I got one.
Go ahead.
I just want to kind of piggyback off what the verse 32 about, what it says about, about taking satisfaction in murder. We, Christian, Israel, we fight so hard to want to be equal to our oppressor that we really don't notice a lot of things that he does. I mean, we notice it. They take for example the brother that they hung and burned, and they riddled his body with bullets. How they celebrated. You ever seen the historical pictures of that brother? I'm trying to think, it was in Mississippi, I think. They hung that brother from the tree, set him afire, and they riddled him with over 70. I think they shot him over 72 times while he was burning up in the tree hanging.
Just a lot of brothers I know.
And they was, they was out there celebrating, and like Scripture said, you don't take satisfaction in. Even that brother had did something wrong. We know he had did nothing wrong. They just our oppressor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How they take satisfaction in killing us, and we fight so hard and vote to be equal and want to be like them.
We lost. We lost people. Destroyed people. We don't know anything. That's why it's imperative that we get in these classes and learn, and we fight and we fight and we fight. Because we are lost people. We don't know what's wrong. We don't know what's right. If you ask me what's right or wrong, the first thing I'm gonna tell you, let me see what the scripture's gonna tell me. Because I have no idea. I've tried, out of 40-something years of my life, I tried to do what I thought was right. And everything I did was wrong. It was completely wrong. So now I don't even ask no more questions if it's right or wrong. If it ain't part of the scriptures, I just don't do it. I leave it alone. Because I tried it my way, didn't work. I tried it my father's way, didn't work. So I know one way I didn't try, we try the Lord's way. And that's what we gotta understand right now. We as lost people, you don't know anything. See, the thing about being lost, when you're not lost, you can try to find your way back because you know you're lost. It's like, I'm lost. Let me try to find my way back because you know you're lost. But those who don't know they're lost, they just keep on going down the wrong road. They just keep going down the wrong road. They don't even know they're lost. And it's harder to find a person who don't think they're lost than to find a person who, damn, you know what, I think I'm lost. Because he might listen to you. I think I'm lost. How do I get back? He's asking questions. And that's how we all found the truth. We thought we was lost, we started asking questions. We found that brother, that video, and we started to get it on the right track. But those who don't think they're lost, they just going down the road. Go ahead, brother.
So like y'all want, if I may. Just going to the Passover. This is my first Passover.
Man, I was waiting for somebody coming for the first Passover. But go ahead.
This is my first Passover. What I learned from the week of the Passover to the week I'm in now, fighting is all we can do, man, to come back to this. I have to fight to. When you wake up in the morning, you're fighting. When you go to your slavery, you're fighting. That Passover showed me with all the brothers in there and them fighting and doing this and all the shit we went through. Right. Don't nobody know. But we fought.
That's right.
We fought hard. take that with you, man, we can destroy this. Man, Babylon gonna fall.
Man, what you say?
It's gonna fall. But now we gotta get out there and war, and we gotta fish, we gotta get everybody in this. It's a fight.
It's a fight.
I'm in a fight.
That's right.
Every day, every second. Man, I had Edomites coming to me, cussing me out, saying certain shit, because I got certain shit on, this and that. It's time to go to war.
That's right.
I'm at war.
It's wartime.
It's wartime. And that Passover showed me that. That Passover showed me, now you at war now.
That's right. You can never slack up.
Nah.
You can never slack up. Let me tell you, the brother was saying, that Passover, man, it did something to me. When you out there and you hear that, Babylon is falling.
God is falling.
Rise no more.
Rise no more.
Babylon's falling.
Babylon is falling.
To rise no more.
To rise no more.
Falling,
Falling.
falling,
Hey.
falling,
Falling.
to rise no more.
To rise no more. I'm gonna sleep
That's-
at so I gotta what? I gotta sleep.
When you hear that, that's just not a song you sing just because that's what songs of war. That's what the song was all about. It was wartime. That's what the Passover was all about. When we got out of Egypt, it was wartime. So you're right, your battle every day in life, we had a battle. You gotta fight on your job. You gotta fight at your household. You gotta fight your ribs. You gotta fight your husband. You gotta fight.
Yeah, right.
Because the enemy only had but a little bit of time. So what do you think he's gonna try to do? Try to take everybody with him. You can't fall for that. So under command, this Isupk, the commander in Hana, has equipped us everything we need to know. But he can't fight the battle for you. But if you don't surround yourself with brothers and sisters and come into class and come into Sabbath services, you don't do these things, it's only going to make you weaker and weaker and weaker. So pretty far, the devil's messing with your mind. The devil's to get you alone. He wants to get you alone so he can throw jabs at you. Once you throw jabs at you, then he started insulting you. Man, you ain't nothing, don't worry about that. Then he started assaulting you. So now you're at your weakest moment, and you got nobody to help you. And that's when he attacked, and you give up. Go ahead, brother.
So like y'all want if I may. Like, before I even came into the truth, right? So I used to do everything.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Can you go see what the officer recalled me? Tell me. Go ahead.
I used to do everything that made me comfortable.
Yeah.
I was good. Coming into the truth, I had to do everything that made me uncomfortable.
You better be comfortable.
Read scriptures, getting in front of people and talking, doing all that shit. I was so fucking uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's the fight that I have to fight. Because I could live my whole life just being comfortable.
Exactly.
That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy. I can make every situation that I'm in comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So why not? Shit, when it gets uncomfortable, I know that's the battle right there.
It's not about being comfortable. Like I said, the Lord don't want you comfortable.
Right.
You better get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right. Calm.
Be comfortable being uncomfortable, man. Because like you said, you think I want to come, I stutter a lot. You think I want to come up here and speak on the mic outside? No. But I know I had a war. You think I want to come and teach a class? Hey, Officer Scott, you going to teach a class? Huh?
Oh, God.
Okay. You gonna go and, hey, the day I got promoted to Officer 50, the next day, I got promoted that night. Next morning, 6 hours later, Shalom Israel, with the ISUPK, started in 1989.
They're right.
I was out there.
They're right.
Uncomfortable, stuttering like no what. But you know, I thought about it. Moses had a stuttering problem. He had a speech problem. That's no excuse for him, but he still got people out of Egypt. So no matter what your excuse is, Paul had a problem. What was it? Paul had a thorn in his side. We don't know what the thorn was, but the Lord said, my grace is sufficient enough. So whatever it is, your demons with weed, my grace is sufficient enough. If you're whoremongering, my grace is sufficient enough. I ain't taking nothing away from you. You have a problem with your multiple ribs, my grace is sufficient enough. You got a problem with the Edomites on your job, my grace is sufficient enough. Lord ain't gonna take away your problems. He says, my grace is sufficient enough, which means get in here, battle yourself, and care about your problems, and figure it out, carry your cross, and keep my laws, commandments. Not only keep them, go get some other people and teach them the same thing. I don't give a damn what your problem is. Now go. That's what he told us. Ezekiel had a wife. I love my wife more than my... Okay, yes, you love your wife more than... I'll give you a heart attack to your wife. Now, once I gave your wife a heart attack, go out there on my street and speak.
You better not cry.
And don't cry. That's what the Lord is. It's about war. You got about your excuses. Go ahead, brother.
It's like Adawan. The Lord say he a man of war.
Man of war.
What does that mean?
Tell me. Break it
As
down.
people, you gotta get up and go to war every day, every second,
Every day.
like trying to save your people is war.
That's war enough.
Because they gonna say, I don't want to hear that. You ain't this. But you like, no, hold on, wait. You can do this, but you can't do this. You can do this. And I know, just me coming into the truth, I lost everything, a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that was war. Is war gonna break you down, or is war gonna build you up?
Coming to the truth, you're gonna lose your dignity. As a female, you're gonna lose your dignity. As a man, you're gonna lose your dignity. But it's the dignity according to what Esau in the world was giving. It's according to that. So I don't care about losing that. You think you care because that's all you knew, because you was lost. That's all you knew is that I'm gonna do the way according to their thing. But coming in this truth, man, you're gonna think you're less than a woman. You're gonna think you're less than a man because of what the world see you as. Your Facebook post ain't gonna get hit too much. You go see all the brothers hitting you up, but people in the world might get 2 or 3 of them saying, oh, likes, whatever case. Your likes are gonna decrease. Ain't nobody gonna give a damn. They gonna look at you like you're crazy. You gonna tell them I ain't celebrating my daughter's birthday. They gonna call you up every damn birthday. Hey, I know it's Happy Born Day. Same shit. Same damn day.
It's a lot here. I say Happy Cake Day.
Yeah,
Christmas Day.
They gonna say everything.
Stupid shit.
They don't respect what you actually trying to bring out. They don't respect none of that. So like your brother said, it is war every freaking day on this earth. You can't make it in ISUPK unless you war against your mother and your brothers and your sisters and your cousins and your mother-in-law, your brother-in-law. If you ain't warring against them, you ain't doing something right. If you rolling through this thing and you fine and you're hunky-dory, something ain't right. You ain't serving the right Lord. You must be with them fake Israelite troops or something. But if you actually serve the Most High God, you're going to go through battles that you never thought you had to fight. Never thought you had to fight. I'm going to have to fight my mother about this, just about eating pork, because she cooked pork chops and she know growing up, that's my baby favorite food. And now you got to go to war with her because I don't want no shrimp and grits. I don't want the shrimp and grits. I can't eat that no more. Now you got to go with your mother. So you're warring. Like the brother said, we have to war in everything that we do. If you're not warring with yourself, and warring against yourself is one of your biggest enemies. You can fight against everybody else, but fighting against yourself, that's going to be one of the biggest challenges there is. You have to war against yourself, you understand? So we clap it up for that brother, man. Hey, someone Christ, word. I made it in, huh? Christ. But if we ain't got, if anybody ain't got nothing else to say, we go ahead and close the class. Anybody got any comments to say? Anything you want to bring out? You can do it now. We got a little time because we got to be back here tonight at 7 o'clock. We should make that announcement.
I just would like to say that Lord 53rd Passover, man, for all of us to just stay up and just to stand up and say face the east and say the Lord and just say the prayers and stuff in the Hebrew. If the world don't know, we know that everyone in the truth know the Lord is answering our prayers.
Right.
With this, and we know war comes before peace.
That's right.
We know what Christ, said He gonna do. What we know what's gonna happen before Christ returns, when He returns, and after He returns.
That's right.
And this turmoil what's going on in the earth right now, all it is to get back. All it is to get back for what these heathen have done to us. You know what I'm saying? So, the Lord hear our prayers. The angels hear our prayers. There's nothing more powerful than the Hebrew tongue.
That's right.
And with that being said, this is this the end time. This is the end game right here. And we should be happy about that the Lord is, hearing us.
Right.
And we know that He hadn't forgotten. It's not like the Christians say, oh, the Lord ain't forgot about it. The Lord ain't forgot. We know in the truth because we pray for this. They're not praying for this. They're praying for peace. They praying for equality to our oppressors and stuff. And we know we are above all people. We know the Lord. We the chosen one.
We the chosen one. That's it.
I mean, how can you not love that your Creator got a favorite and He chose you to be His favorite?
That's right.
Above all people.
It's like this is the last captivity. Ain't no more captivity after this. This is the last captivity. Babylon, what's the other, Assyrians, Rome. This is the last captivity. There's no more after this. Let that sink in. This is it. You want to make it, so you got to fight. All right. With that being said, look, join us tonight at 7 o'clock. We have the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. For those of you who don't know what Feast of Unleavened Bread, it'll be behoove of you to come tonight at 3353 Glenwood Road in Decatur, Georgia, to the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Also, in addition to the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, we have the opening of first fruits. And it's going to be done here at 7 o'clock, address 3353 Glenwood Road. We're going to have food, drinks, strong drink. We're going to have games for the children. Sisters coming. Just be if you're new to the area, if you want to come in, bring your head wrap, come in a dress. Come as you are. You know what I'm saying? Come. And we're gonna celebrate the high holy days that the Lord told us to celebrate. Go ahead, sister.
Can we bring bread with leaven in it?
You can, because we always have some bread here. That's a show bread for the other Feast of Unleavened Bread. And this is the closing up, so yeah, you can bring some bread in that has leaven in it. Yeah, you can do that. And we're also gonna have some unleavened bread here as well. So if you want to bring unleavened bread, also bring that, because it's the closing. When you're closing up something, it means hey, you're good to go. So we're gonna be opening up the Feast of First Fruits. So that's gonna be scripture we're gonna get into tonight too. So like I said, join us brothers here, back here again about 7 o'clock tonight, sunset 7 o'clock, and we're gonna do it again. But this time it's gonna be even more glory. The scriptures say that we should observe the Sabbath service, which we did, and we also should be at these high holy. We should have a holy convocation. You all come together, people, like-minded people who understand this stuff, the scriptures, eat, drink, and serve the Lord. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So if you could, join us tonight at 7 o'clock. With that being said, brothers here, Masra. You'll get ready to say the prayers. Don't sound crazy. Don't sound out of that.
Mashallah.
Just going to say the prayers. So if we could, if you're not standing already, you're Majum. And we're going to Apollo Padang, which is face the east. And we'll say the Lord's Prayer.
In the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abnao. Shema Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakaka. Taba'ah. Batazai. Hayah. Asha. Ba'aratzah. Kawa. Hayah. Bashemayim. Natoina. Lakam. Cow. The wall. Wasunakina. Kasalakina. Kawapina. Wala'ah. Tabashanawa. Barashawan. Abal. Ashanawa. Mayan. Rai. Hayah. Lakab. Makulak. Wala'ala. Wata Param. Wa'ai Wala'am.
Amen. Right? We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And give us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. All right. SARS, turn. Ashabi, be seated. Prepare for the announcements.
Here's the ISK security announcements. We are the ISK started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to the school, they are limited for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to set themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. My Ishra, that means 10 in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department and teacher, priest fund. 3 will offer for priest not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give. The whole convocation is tonight. It'll be the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, followed with the opening of the Feast of First Fruits. You know, the address is 3353 Glenwood Road, Decatur, Georgia. For all blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are invited. I walk them to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any brother wants to be a trooper in school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. Add to Google this address every time you head to the building, head to school. You can just type in Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and the address will be 3353 Glenwood Road, Decatur, Georgia.
I'd like to add one thing. If you like the class, share it. Share it and like it to get it out to all Israel. Share the class and like it. Go on.
All right. There is a mic. Give one curse to teacher, me Israel. Minus bot, a mile, rock.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Y'all on the top, me hands down, sister stand, a mile. Sorry, curse to sister. Give one curse to the sister, me Israel. A minus bot, a mile, a rock.
Yahweh Shabbat Shem Yahshua.
Yahweh Shemar El Thon B'Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Y'all on the top, me hands down, class dismissed.